All right, welcome everybody to a special edition of the Dad at Arms show, the Dad at Arms podcast. As always, I'm your host, Colt. Um, got some kind of exciting news, and I just want to clarify before we really jump into it that this is going to be a little different than the interviews I usually do. I recently did an interview with Rob David, who is Vice President of Creative Content at Mattel, and we talked about all kinds of things. We talked about, a little bit about toys. We talked about Revelation and Revolution. We talked about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the Netflix CGI series. We talked about the future of Masters of the Universe. We talked about comics and new comics that are going to be coming out. And he mentioned a few Revelation based comics. He said that there is going to be a one shot comic based on Revolution that will release around the time, after Revolution airs. But then he also hinted at another upcoming project that is not Revelation, that is not tied into Revelation or Revolution, but is kind of a standalone thing. And he said that that fans will be really excited about this, and he said that it's what Tim Seeley is going to be working on. And as we know, Tim Seeley has worked on many, many Masters of the Universe projects over the years. Most recently, he's worked on the Masterverse comics, the 4-issue miniseries, and he is also working on the upcoming Forge of Destiny uh, Masters of the Universe miniseries. And so it's always exciting to see Tim Seeley's writing pop up for Masters of the Universe comics. And what uh, Rob was hinting at, um, you know, got me pretty excited. And I just kind of wanted to go back real briefly and, towards the end of this, when I get done talking, I'll share a portion of that interview with Rob so you can all hear what he had to say about it. But I wanted to bring up the He-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover that has long been kind of off and on again. There are recent rumblings that there might be a toy crossover line between these two properties, a Masters of the Universe and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. Um, I think we've even seen a few leaked images and such. Um, and none of this is official yet. This is all, based on rumors and leaks and stuff like that, and a lot of speculation. There were a few things that Rob said that got me excited. So I just wanted to touch base real quick and cover what kind of the history of what this, crossover is. So back in March of 2019, um, there was going to there's going to be a He-Man Ninja Turtles crossover comic event, and it was I think 2019 was when it had really started, kind of gaining traction, and the the artist attached to this project was Freddie Williams. And he's done a lot of work for Masters of the Universe over the years as well. He did the art for the Injustice Masters of the Universe crossover. He did the art for the He-Man and Thundercats crossover comic event, and he also did the art for the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics that crossed over with each other. And so it was really exciting that he was on board to do this crossover of arguably the two largest toy lines, from the 80s, and two properties that fans are, just in love with. As you can see behind me, I've switched my camera setup around so you can see the other half of my room. Usually we see that front half of my room, which is all He-Man based. But on this side, this is where most of my Ninja Turtle stuff is. So I'm a huge fan of both of these properties, and so this is always something that's been exciting to me and something that I've always wanted to see. So yeah, back in 2019, this project started being worked on. It was in the early stages, and a lot of this information comes from this book that Freddie Williams put out called The Crossover That Almost Was, and it's basically a sketchbook of all of his sketches that he did in preparation for this comic. There we see He-Man and Leonardo shaking hands. So yeah, this is full of little tidbits about the timeline of how this began and ultimately ended, with tons of really cool sketch work in here. And I'll share some of them in the video as well. But he says in here that, it began in 2019, but then by March 10th, 2020, they got word that the crossover was, officially dead. And this was due to a lot of internal things. This was when the new Revelation cartoon was being announced and stuff like that. And so schedules changed and things happened, to where this was, a canceled project. But it now seems that we might be seeing this project be resurrected and brought back to life in some capacity, based on what Rob had to say in the interview. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to that interview, and I'll let Rob speak for himself and see what you guys think. And it's just fun to speculate about what might be coming in the future for Masters of the Universe and hopefully Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So enjoy.
And then we have, what did I tell you? There's definitely, I don't know if I can say anything. There are definitely more storylines to come. And there's another thing that Tim Seeley will be working on, which is not Revelation based, but is going to be so awesome. It's going to be so great. And I think I can't say more. I can't say, well, I don't know. It'll be
if I make a guess,
if you like things like chocolate and peanut butter coming together, or
is it
Cats, or Transformers and G.I. Joe, yeah.
Is it something that was at one point in the works that was canceled?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Would like to see renewed.
I'm so sorry.
I have one wall full of things. I have another wall full of things. I see posters on the wall behind you.
I'm so sorry. The Wi-Fi here, it's just so bad. I don't know what you're saying.
You're going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
All right, so there we have it. That's Rob David talking about an upcoming Masters of the Universe comic written by Tim Seeley, likely a crossover. And my personal speculation is that this is the long wanted Masters of the Universe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics crossover to coincide with the rumored toy line crossover that we've been hearing rumblings about. So, and again, this is all just speculation. It's not solid evidence by any means, and obviously subject to change. But yeah, when we do hear more concrete evidence of this being a thing, then we will definitely talk about it more, and hopefully have some people to interview in the future to shed more light on these things. So until then, please check out the interview I did with Rob. Very informative. Gives a lot of insight about the plethora of Masters of the Universe content that we've had over the past few years, primarily with Revelation and the upcoming Revolution. He talks about San Diego Comic-Con. He talks about just a lot of the things that go into Revolution and the story that they're telling there, as well as a lot of insight into the kid series, the CGI He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series that was on Netflix as well. So please check it out, and the link is provided here at the end of this video. So, and as always, thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.